What up, everybody? Hopefully, you all are having a wonderful time this morning. It is Friday Eve, everybody. Hopefully, y'all having a good time. Let's go it on. So, today we are going to be talking about it is a new year, which means that it's going to be a new you. More than likely, you got to do what you got to do in order for you to be a new you, which means that you got to get rid of a lot of things that are actually going on in your life that are holding you back from being where you want to be today. So, without further ado, let me go ahead on and get this intro going so we can go on and get right to it. So tight. Let's go.
You're listening to the About That Wallet podcast. We'll be right back after these messages.
Low credit score dragging you down? Score Boost by Smart Credit helps you maximize your score by showing you exactly how much you need to pay off and by which date to gain the most points. Pay less and gain the most points the fastest. And you can start just for $1. Click the link in the bio, save thousands. Don't wait.
Even the best and the brightest this world has to offer have coaches and mentors. Build strong money-making behaviors by applying financial concepts and strategies with Anthony Weaver on the About That Wallet Show. It's time to get off the bench and get in the game. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
What up? So, I'm gonna go ahead on and start playing the clip because I thought this was actually interesting when they're talking about the sandwich generation from CNBC, and I figured, hey, why not share this with my audience today? Because this is something that's beneficial to everybody. So let's see what they got to say.
Workers in their 50s are generally at peak earning potential, yet more than half worry they'll run out of money in retirement. So in tonight's Eye on America, the latest installment of our series on retirement planning, CBS's Jill Schlesinger visits one couple in their 50s, want to be saving more for later, but they've got a lot on their plate.
Dinner time at the Gomez residence in suburban Boston means feeding 3 generations.
Here you go. It's crazy. We're raising my niece and nephew. My mother lives with us, and my sister lives with us.
So how many people total in this house?
7.
Alicia, 56, works for a nonprofit, and her husband, Chu, 58, works in logistics. They're part of the sandwich generation, workers supporting young relatives and aging parents.
I equate it to a turkey club sandwich because a club sandwich has a lot of layers, and we have a lot of layers.
Intergenerational arrangements like this account for roughly 5 million U.S. households. They can easily wreak havoc on retirement plans.
How do you think about the future?
We were thinking 62, and we can retire at 62 and still be young. And the other day she says, "You're going to work to 70, right?" I'm like, "I guess so."
50s is a good time to save.
People in their 50s, says labor economist Teresa Ghilarducci, need to put away as much of their earnings as possible.
In your 50s, you may be pressured to help your adult children. You may be pressured to even help your older parents, but don't sacrifice your own retirement savings.
The Gomez's are saving, but they are more than $500,000 in debt, including house, car, and college loans for their 2 daughters.
How long before those are paid off?
He's going to be 71 when they're done.
Yeah, we'll have those for a long time.
The Gomez's do have a nest egg, but not a big one. If you're in your 50s like them, here's what to consider. Have honest conversations about how long any assistance for relatives, like any older children, will last. Temporarily reduce retirement contributions to pay down any high-interest debt, like credit cards. Then importantly, don't forget to boost your savings.
Is the money coming in covering the bills that you have?
We have enough, but it's not where we should be. God forbid if one of us gets sick or we are laid off, what will that do to us financially?
Well, people in their 50s have a really high chance of losing their career job. So watch your back, keep your job.
Both Alicia and Chu were in fact laid off in their 50s. Alicia picked up consulting work, then was rehired. But it took Chu 6 months during the pandemic to find a new job.
When you get laid off, you can't do the 401k. So that was 6 months of 401k that was not being put in there.
Chu missed $13,000 in 401k contributions, which would have been worth roughly $40,000 by the time he retires, and could have helped cover some retirement costs, like health insurance. On average, a retired 65-year-old should expect to spend about $165,000 on health care throughout retirement.
Do you think about that?
It's funny, until you bring it up with somebody. Oh, yeah, that other thing, that's always there.
Take your time.
The retirement pressure never lets up.
We didn't know we were going to have to care for so many family members. So the unexpected was a wake-up call, I think, for us.
For the sandwich generation, saving for the unexpected is the best answer to that call.
That sounds good.
For Eye in America, Jill Schlesinger in Draycote, Massachusetts.
Mr.
All right. So what do you guys think about that? That was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think it was as well. So right now, I'm actually going to go through this particular slide deck. I'm going to try it this way. It might be too small. Too busy. All right. So I'm going to keep the slide deck nice and simple. I'll move some things around because they are tripping. Let's see if they can make that. And get rid of that. And so StreamYard just recently made some changes, y'all. So I'm just trying to make sure I can actually adjust as well. Let me see what I look like down in the corner. Obviously, that is not going to work. They got other presets. Oh my gosh. And I can't go back to my own preset. Okay. All right. So I just messed up my whole preset. All right. Anyway, so for those of you who are on Instagram, I'm going to go ahead on and switch this over, rotate, which is my screen, so y'all can see to follow the presentation as well. But y'all can see as much as y'all can get. Or yeah, that's how y'all gonna get. I'm not gonna give out too much because follow on on YouTube. For those of you who are on Instagram, I do apologize. It is a lot going on. So let me try to hide some of this stuff so y'all can see my face down here in the corner. Turn up some of these lights because I look pretty dark. I need to get better lighting. One of these days I'll figure it out. But anyway, so what we're going to talk about is the 5 common issues that are faced with the sandwich generation. So for those of you who are coming in, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, boss? Bass, I always forget you. Man, I want to say it the right way, so I do apologize. I know it's BAS. I just want to say thank you so much for coming through. Let's saying, hey, what's going on, Jen? Thank you for coming in. Let's play some light background music. Okay. So we got this going on today, guys. All right. So this is comments with the sandwich generation. We ain't gonna pay attention to that because I played around with it. All right. It's a lot of text. I know. I apologize. But, it is what it is. I'm going to see if I can edit this so I can be on the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, man, hit my limit. All right, so I actually hit my limit on what I can have. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to actually showcase this information so that everybody can get it. I guess I'll do it this way. Just keep it simple. Simple is always best, right? So for those of you who are new to me, I actually offer financial coaching services, and which is helping empowering the sandwich generation and personalized strategies to manage finances, build wealth, and help protect assets. So if you have had me on or listened to me speak at different conferences, hey, welcome to the show. And I also been on other podcasts, so talking about different strategies on wealth building, how to do with credit utilization, and actually help out with building some confidence while you're actually talking about money, spending money, or even utilizing your money. So I actually am a host of the About That Water podcast, that you're listening to it, interview over 100 guests, and also I continue to bring on more and more people who are experts in their industry to kind of showcase what is going on. And then also what keeps me going is that I am dedicated to helping families navigate the complexities of caregiving while achieving financial stability and long-term goals. So that's the reason why, if you haven't already, drop in the chat, what is your financial goal that you're trying to achieve this year? Just need one, because all it takes is one thing that you want to achieve, and let's make it happen. The reason why I want to bring it up, because this is something that a lot of people don't do. They keep coming with these resolutions and don't follow through with them. I'm here to be a person that can help you get to that next level. All right. So what we're going to be talking about here today is some of these common issues. One of the things about the Black African American community is that we fall short of these things, especially in the sandwich generation. Have you ever felt like everything is against you, boss? I mean, you and I, we had a long conversation talking about what was going on in your world when things were happening, when things hit the fan, how you were able to navigate through that process. The sandwich generation has been impacting so many people, and some of you are new to this term. So the sandwich generation, for those of you who don't know, is the generation where you have parents that you're taking care of, and also you have children that you're impacting, like that you're also taking care of as well. Some people like to call it the club sandwich, because it's like everybody's in your space and it's just so much going on. If you ever had a club sandwich where you got like the meat, you got the onions, you got the tomatoes, some people have the pickles in there, you got the rye that's going on, you got the different cheeses that's in there, and you also got like the different types of meat, like all of that is going on, and you trying to figure out, man, what flavor is this? Where do I fit in at? What does it taste like? This is what I'm talking about. When it comes to those issues, it just seems like everything is on you. And I want you to take a look at the numbers here. So we have, based on these common issues, the number one is a financial strain, which is at 35%. A lot of us are dealing with that, whether because we got the parents that has some issues, then we got to make sure that the kids can go to school, actually look decent going to school, making sure that the kids have proper medication. So, you got to do the health insurance. Then you got to deal with any sports that they're into. Then you got to deal with making sure that they clothed, they fed, have a roof over their head. And if hopefully they don't destroy anything that you already put in the house, especially when it comes to the floors or brand new sofa or something. You're afraid to even buy new things because you're like, you know what? It's a kid in the house. I'm not even sure if they're going to keep anything available. So Boss, you say you want to start rolling over old 401ks. That is a really good strategy to do. I've done it several times when it comes to moving your information over from one bank to another. It's very it's simple but not simple. The reason why I say it's not simple is because if you had the money, you already accumulated this money before you got married, and now that you're married, they want to ask your wife or get your wife's signature, be like, hey, is it okay that he moved this? It's like, it's your own money. You should be able to move your own money from one bank to another. She wasn't there making it. But under the laws, if you're married, any money that you've made during that time frame, including interest, is now deemed our money under the law. Yes. So if you're married now, you're going to have to think about that coming forward. But ultimately, is finding out, you got to call your old companies that you used to work for, figure out what bank that they have the 401ks listed. Make sure you just go on and get that done. I like that particular goal because a lot of people forget that they have money sitting out there. You can have several thousands of dollars that you can reinvest. And when they bring over that money, it will roll over into a self-directed IRA, which means that you're not bound to the limitations that the IRA already had. Now you actually can have that ability to take the money that was provided to you and showcase that up to whatever stocks or situation that you found deemed viable for yourself. Now, one of the things that I want to see what we have here, Jen, I need a sandwich generation. Yes. The sandwich generation is a wild thing. Okay. It's something that we grow old into. So it's a constant shift. Like right now, you got Gen Xers. Majority of the Gen Xers are already in that scenario, but now you're going to start having millennials. As millennials turn 40 to 45, as they get older, they're going to slowly move into that realm, which means that now is the time to have those tough conversations with your parents. Have that tough conversations with your kids. Hey, where are you going to live at in the next 5 years or so? Where are you going to live in the next, 2 to 3 years? Are you buying a house that will actually help bring in your parents? Or if you're married, will it help bring in your father and mother-in-law? What does that actually look like? So you need to think about, how does that all impact each other? So when you think about that, so the second thing that's on here is time management. Now, time management, I'm going to highlight that here. So time management is sitting at 20%. A lot of times, because we are split between what it is when it comes to our self care, we need to start thinking about, what are we doing for ourselves? Yes, our time is also split amongst taking care of our parents, taking care of our kids, and sometimes if you're married, take care of your spouse. I mean, I'm not sure how many times I heard a lot of women joke about how their husbands is like having another kid. I mean, I'm a husband. I do act foolishness from time to time, but I get it. It's okay. But then we start looking into emotional burnout. We're there for everybody, but when do we, again, this goes back to self-care. Are we actually taking time out to actually listen to ourselves, listen to our bodies, listening to each other to kind of figure out, hey, this is where I need to be? And then obviously we got the retirement saving delays. Like, some people just push out their retirement and they just don't know where to start. The best time to start is now. Start looking into either investing into your company's 401k, even if you at least do the match, or even if you do 1% of your income, you're doing something. And that you'd be surprised that just because you did that 1%, it will actually help launch you a lot further. That's how I started. I started off with 1%, and I slowly grew my retirement up to the company match, which is at 5%. And because I did that, I'm like, cool. If I can do it, anybody else can do it, and you can do it too. Hey, Jen, what's going on? Thank you for coming on the live on Instagram. And thank you all there. And obviously, we want to talk about estate planning. These challenges are something that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Some of the times you feel as though we don't have those estate plans, and this is something that we have the ability to control, which means that you can go to, all you have to do is really start with your passwords. You don't have to give the passwords to everybody right now, but what you can say is like, hey, this is a password book, and this is the 2-factor authentication that's necessary for that. Put that together. Let's make that happen. And you can slowly build from there. Then start looking at the bank accounts, start looking at the credit card accounts, start looking at the cell phone bills. Where is the money buried? This is what's going to be needed inside your estate planning. All right, so now we're going to look at what is the problem. Obviously, we talked about the financial strain, but I want to highlight here that Black families often face generational wealth gaps and disparities in high debt to income ratios. This is a huge problem when it comes to trying to help when it comes to the sandwich generation, especially in the Black and brown community, because we are usually have high debt to income ratios because we're trying to keep up. And what I mean by keeping up, it's like, yeah, we go to school, we get the education, but then it's like, okay, now we got to pay back all these student loans because one, we usually are the first ones to go to school. So we didn't know anything about, getting grants or anything like that. Yes, we are in a digital age now, but I'm talking about back then. And back then, education about this information, about grants, was very tough to come by. And especially if you did not have a high school counselor that was on your butt when it came to looking for scholarships or even looking for grants or even talking to your family to say like, hey, your child can actually qualify for this, this, and this. Where were those resources? Yes, you might have like college day or whatever, but that might be the only time. And it's usually around your senior year. These conversations could have been happening in your, sophomore to junior year. And these would have been great conversations to have around finances. Like, hey, in your sophomore, junior year, you plan on going to college? Okay, let's go down and start saving up some money. Start talking about the 529 plans. Those aren't in there. So these are the things that's a problem. You got time management. A lot of the times, most Black caregivers just juggle in multiple jobs. I could tell you this, my mom was working 3 jobs when I was going to school. So I rarely saw her. Except for she came around for making dinner and stuff like that. But in the morning, I didn't see her. It wasn't like she made me breakfast and sent me home with, send me to school with lunch or anything like that. No, I either got up early enough to catch the bus, went to school. Same all the way up to high school, even to college. Like, she worked multiple jobs. My dad, but they were separated, so I rarely saw my dad. And then my dad will also work multiple jobs as well. So it was just kind of like everybody's doing all these multiple jobs. So when I got older and I started working, I was also working multiple jobs because that's what I knew. That's what I grew up on. And so time management wasn't something that I even thought about, except for like, hey, I know I need to be at this job at this time to go to the next job at that time. So, but when it comes to caregiving, this is something that we need to start thinking about. How are we going to highlight and actually make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so that we can give that time management set up? I do want to talk about this retirement delays here, is that for Black Americans are least likely to have access to employer-sponsored retirement plans, and often prioritize immediate needs over long-term savings. Raise your hand or say, that was me when when it came to your job? I could tell you right now, it was me. Because one of the things I did not know was how in the heck this retirement stuff was going to work. On top of, I had to pay for my housing when I was renting. I had to pay for my car note. I had to figure out how to pay for transportation to go back and forth to work. Then I got to get school books. I'm up here paying for all these other things because retirement wasn't the thing. I wasn't at a job where it felt like, hey, I should go head on and sign up for the 401k plan. I should sign up for these plans that they have available. Again, they might talk about it during an orientation, or they might talk about it in a team meeting. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever, and then go about your business. I didn't do it. And estate planning. I mean, a lot of people, especially a lot of us as we getting older, but I could say like for the millennials, we're getting better at this and start talking about our finances and start talking about some of the things that we are dealing with. That's one of the things that I have to say. So out of these 5 things, which one of these is actually that you're dealing with right now? Just type it in the chat. Which one of these that you feel is a problem for you? Something that you want to get better at. And I could say, like, out of these 5 things, me personally, I would have to say that I want to get better at estate planning. Meaning, like, set up these accounts to make sure that I have everything set up. Because when it comes to the lack of education, that's the reason why I want to do that more. That's for me. So what are these? Which one of these is a problem for you? Oh, and I'm eating popcorners today. These are the sea salt version. Actually not that bad. All right. So as we go through, and since I'll be playing this back for the audio folks who are going to listen to this audio only, let's take a look at some of these key insights. So one of the things about the key insights is that the first thing, like I mentioned, is that the estate planning is low engagement. That is one of the areas where I feel as though that could have the most impact to a lot of the folks in the sandwich generation, because we're dealing with our aging parents. And when it comes to our aging parents, a lot of the times the estate plans fall through all the time because a lot of the times these conversations aren't happening. Who's in the will? Who's in the trust? Where are the accounts located? Are the accounts even online? Some of you'd be surprised. Talk to your parents. For those of you who are listening to this show or listening to my voice right now, talk to your parents and be like, hey, do you still write your checks for some of these bills? You know, take a look at and ask them, like, hey, are you writing a check for this bill? You'd be surprised. They might still do the old fashioned, like, hey, let me write this check out right quick and run down to the bank, pay my bill. They get the little stamps and everything. Sometimes you might want to update some of their things and be like, hey, you know, it's springtime's around the corner, literally. So this will be actually a good exercise for you all. I actually had a conversation with my mom for December, because she was actually one of those people that was still handwriting out a check to pay her bills. And I was like, Mom, you know, you can do it online and you can pay for it at the comfort of your own home instead of you going out to pay a bill. And so with a lot of conversation, a lot of phone calls, she was able to go ahead on and set everything up. And now she's on the digital side, mainly because I'm thinking about to myself, it'll be a lot easier to manage when she gets up in age and forget everything. All right, boss, what do you say? I still got my trust and estate planning. That is good. I still got, you still got to do your trust and estate planning. Yes. So the trust and estate planning is yes. That is one of the things I think that so we all can do. I'm thinking about coming up with a checklist, a trust checklist, or at least an estate planning checklist, to kind of see to make sure that we all have what we need when we go through our estate planning. And I might have to bring somebody back on. I want to bring on Eddie to see if he can talk about that again, so we can just start talking about our checklist for the end of the year. And I think it'll be good to have around anyway, and you can always build on your estate planning. You can always build on it. So don't feel as though you got to do a one-stop shop. Granted, you might not live forever. We don't live forever. And granted, you might not live tomorrow. But the fact that you wrote something down, that you have something in place for the people that are living, you have already taken a step further than a lot of people have already. Even if it's not a will per se, saying like, hey, it was authorized in secondhand, you can, if you write it in a journal or whatever, say like, this is my plan. This is what I want done to me. I want to do, like, say you want to do cremation, or you want to be buried in a full marble thing. Go for it. You can be in the full crypt if you want to. Like, if that's what you want to do, write that all down so the family who finds it, they can go ahead on and follow that. Let's see. Jen, you said strain, and I'm trying to figure out, the financial strain. Oh, yeah, that would be something that we all can assist with. And if you need to, I mean, I do offer one-on-one services, so we can actually walk you through that process, and let's iron out some of that stuff. Let's get you going. And so we can come with a game plan for you for this year, and let's do that. All right. So Bosh, she also says, I learned the hard way after your mom passed. He said she mailed everything, and a lot of her bills could not be done on. Man. Yeah. So these conversations, you gotta have them. You gotta have that conversation. And it's good that you were able to, go through step by step. And I'm sure you were like, man, where's this bill coming from? Because it's one of those annual bills that will get you. You're like, it was just like, what is this thing in the mail? It's from like a whole year ago. They will catch you. So I would say, as a suggestion, remember, this is educational purposes only, is to, not even a suggestion, just maybe something to think about. Start with the annual fee ones, the ones that you got to pay for annually. Go ahead on and start your estate plan with those. Like, hey, these bills need to be paid on this day. And then also, if you want to, you can categorize them. Be like, yo, you know what? Cut this one immediately, soon as I die. Just cut it. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I'm a bad singer. So anyway, yeah, I mean, these things creep up on you. If there's anything else that you can think of, boss, throw it on the chat that, that we can actually help, strategize a little bit with, because, as we get older, things are happening, man. I'm telling you, like this emotional burnout. So you got to take them out the cultural pressures. So you got like the older generation, you're more than likely your parents, and then your parents-in-law, if you're married, they treating you like a kid. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about, even though you in your 40s and 50s, and they were like, how you know about this? How you know about that? I'm like, you put me through school, you sent me to school, like this is, I can learn, I can pick up a book. I learned it from watching the About That Water podcast or listening to another podcast. These are the things that you can say, hey, mom, dad, mother-in-law, father-in-law, like, hey, I need a mental break. Like, I need a mental break from you. I need a break from the kids. Y'all can have fun together, especially if y'all live in the same house, or you can drop kids off, be like, hey, look, I need a break. You go take a break, and then you can come back and deal with it all later. So now we talk about the financial strain, which is the highest impact to the sandwich generation, especially for the Black and brown community, is that mostly for Black families is the ability to manage caregiving costs and save for their futures. One of the things that's most important that I always hear about a lot of people say, it's like, man, I really wish that I could keep mom and dad home and cover the cost so that they can be comfortable in their own home instead of going to a hospital. And this is, like I said, this is a tough topic, but if you plan accordingly and plan now, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this episode up earlier in the year, is because I want you to start having these conversations throughout the year. Each line item or checklist that you want to have for the estate planning all impacts to the end, and it actually helps out a lot when it comes to this portion of the process, when it comes to dealing with the manage of the caregiving costs, because you need to know exactly how they want to be cared for when they cannot speak for themselves, they cannot communicate for any reason. This is the reason why you want to have these now. And at this point right now, there is no cost. There is no cost to have a conversation. Okay. So I really want you to have that conversation and talk about it. And if you haven't already, you guys, if you're getting any great valuable information, go ahead on and give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the show, because this really helps me and help the show actually continue to grow so that we can start impacting more lives and start saving a lot of family headache dealing with the death or the passing of a loved one. And then also not just that, but so you can have sanity for your children and you actually have the ability to do that. And I want to continue on to share and help everybody with that process as much as I can. And also, as I'm learning, I want to continue to share as well. And I want to reach as many people as possible. So when it comes to manage those caregiving costs, you can actually go right now to your state or just Google like, hey, what's going on and everything like that. Hey, what's going on? Alicia, thank you for coming through. All right, so boss, you said death and finances are taboo topics for generations in our communities. You got that right, because that's one of the things that I've noticed. Is that I'm not sure why death is so, like, if you ever notice, like, most religious people are the toughest people to talk about when it comes to death, even though it's kind of already written in the whole Bible about death and like how it's welcoming and so forth. It's okay. We all gonna die eventually, but right now what we can do is, and this is the reason why when it comes to legacy, you talking about a legacy, how do you want to leave that legacy? I want you to think about that. Or even, do you want to pass on a quote unquote a legacy? Or do you want that person to live their lives the way they want to, not the way that you want them to live their lives? If you like, hey, you know, I left this money for you, do your thing. I just want you to have fun. If you blow it, you blow it. If you save it for your kids, you save it for your kids. But I'm not here. You do what you want to do with it. And sometimes just having that one-liner inside your estate plan, your will, or even in your trust will actually alleviate a lot of the stressors. And make sure that you have these conversations with people about like what's going to happen next. Like, it happens. Okay. So I do want to share some of the services because some of y'all didn't know. I actually do offer services to help out with your credit score. If you actually want to just have a conversation, we can develop a strategy to help improve your credit score. We can talk about some of these negative marks that are on there, how to actually dispute some of those things, and we'll help out get you a written letter so you can mail it off to the creditor and so forth. One of my favorite things to do is financial strategies. I can sit down and I can geek out about budgets and create budget plans with you all day long. So much so that I actually created something called the Simple Budget Calendar that you can actually utilize. It's a printable one, so you can actually start writing things down and actually see things are from you. I am a paper and pen person. I love to see things in front of me, but also I do play around with the digital because I like to see the quick numbers change as I make adjustments. Because I like to say hey, what if I pay extra $5 here? What would that look like? What if I pay this credit card off? What would that look like? So I'll play around with that on the digital side. That's what I like to do. But also what I have fun doing as well, just as much as I do with financial strategies, is talking about business strategies, just to kind of like talk about how can we streamline your business? How can we see if there's any AI tools that can push you to the next level? What are the things that you're thinking about? Let's go on and start brainstorming together. I can just be that open ear. If you have nobody in your circle that want to chit chat, you can always reach out. So the best way to do that, you can either email me at info@aboutthatwallet.com, or you can go to calendly.com/aboutthatwallet to go ahead on and check out my services there. And if you just sign up for the 15-minute one, we can do that. So just wanted to throw that in there. Shameless plug. So in case you didn't know, yes, I do offer one-on-one services. All right. So the importance of this topic, the reason why I wanted to bring this up, obviously not just to kind of talk about, the issues that we have in the Black and Brown community when it comes to talk about death and estate planning and so forth, but mostly is that we all face a unique financial, emotional, and physical challenges that goes unaddressed. And because they go unaddressed, they can actually lead to so many different things, from death, suicide, illnesses, and it could wind up somebody being hurt. And I don't want that. And I'm sure you don't want that either. And the saddest thing that could ever happen, according to I forgot which research I was doing it, but they were saying it's like the hurt of a loved one is more painful than just hurting yourself. And just seeing somebody hurt, this is the reason why I do not want you to have that feeling. Even though I can't stop it from happening, but I'm just saying it's like, hey, let's try to help each other. Let's grow from that. And I got some information from the Pew Research that showed, as far as the people who are in the sandwich generation, this is how many people are in the sandwich generation according to race. So this is by the Pew Research. So they are saying that for Black adults, they're around 21% that are actually in the sandwich generation. For white adults, they're 24%. And for the Hispanics, you're looking at approximately 31% who are actually in the sandwich generation. Now, the people that qualify for the sandwich generation in America and North America, you're looking at about 4.1 million people across the United States that are actually qualified to be inside that sandwich generation. So out of that, you're looking at several 100,000 for each one of these, which means that there are so many people right now that are going through these issues and haven't had somebody to talk to. So this is another reason why I always say, if you're listening to this, go ahead on and subscribe to the show. Let's go on and get this information out there. All right. we rolling. So I got a lot of information for you guys. So I'm sure hopefully you guys are liking this. Please let me know in the chat. You getting some good info? I mean, am I diving? Am I missing something? Is we getting close to the end? I think I got like 2 more slides after this, but I just want to make sure getting the pulse check where you guys are at. Let me know. So I want you all to take a moment to look at this table. And for those of you who are listening to the audio, by the time I get to the audio, I'll post this up, is that there's a table, I call it 5 common issues, dealing with people with kids and no parents, people who are caring for their kids and their parents. And then I have the people who are caregivers for their parents with grown kids. So what does that look like? And for some of you who are new or just joining, we had to figure out what part of this is a common issue for you. So the first column has the financial strain. These are the issues that are the most common, right? And we had a financial strain, time management, emotional burnout, retirement savings delays, and estate planning. And obviously we're going to have what is a solution for each one of these in each of these areas. So let's see. Okay, so somebody asked, like, what is the sandwich generation? So the sandwich generation are adults who are simultaneously taking care of both aging parents and their own children at the same time. And they are typically between the ages of 40s or in their 50s, who are actually still managing both. And some of the challenges obviously is dealing with childcare, elder care, and also their own work commitments. So that is the sandwich generation, Alicia. So hopefully that helps you out with that. Now we're going to look into this table. So how a person with kids help out with financial strain. So one of the things is that you can create a zero-based budget to prioritize savings and debt reduction. So those of you who are in that boat, go ahead on, and these are tactics that you can take away with right now. For those of you who are in the financial strain and have kids and parents, utilize the 50-30-10-10 rule, which includes caregiving and child expenses. I did a full episode on this particular topic already, so please double check that. Just look at, I think you should be able to look at the 50-30-10-10 rule for the About That Wallet, and it should come up. So you can find that episode. I believe it was a live show. I did not do it as a pre-recording. Now we're looking into the caregivers for parents with grown parents, like caregivers of parents and grown kids. I want you to explore government assistance programs for elderly care costs. I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but there are government programs. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see that. There are government programs that can assist you with your parents, meaning they will actually help take care of installing those assistant bars for when they use the bathroom. If you need one of those pull-up bars to help them get out of the bed, if you need a new railing for your steps, if you need the windows redone, there are programs, and it might not mean federal government, but you might have your local government as well. I know in the state of Maryland, a lot of the siding and windows and stuff like that are covered for you if you have an aging parent that you're taking care of. And you might actually get a stipend just because you're taking care of an elderly person. And it could just be your parent. So how many of you said, what was the other issues that some of you guys are having? We're talking about the estate planning and so forth. So let me zoom all the way out. So for those of you who have kids but no parents, the way you can deal with your estate planning, draft a will and designate guardianship for your kids. Okay. So having that available for your kids is something that is very beneficial. For those of you who are dealing with both of them, you can set up a family trust in the healthcare proxies for parents. Now, this is key because your parents are getting older. So that in your trust, you can make sure all the death benefits. So say if they already have like life insurance against them, their life insurance can go directly to the trust. So now the family trust has money to do things. And then, as you age and then you pass away, or say if your child happens to pass away before you do, your child's life insurance can go into the family trust. So now that the trust is being taken care of by everybody's death benefits, what does that legacy look like? When everybody keeps saying these trust fund babies that are out there, there are a lot of them. this is one of those ways. Now, for those of you who are doing just caregiving for your parents, and also you have adult children, you can review and update estate plans and reflect on changing dynamics. So hopefully this is assuming that you already have an estate plan set up for your family members already. So, looking at this list and this metric that I created, which one of these is something that you're in? So let's do it this way. Type in a number 1 if you have kids, but you don't have aging parents. Like your parents are around, but you're not really taking care of them. You don't have to worry about that. Type in a number 1. I can say I'm a number 1 actually I ain't got no kids. So I'm a 0. It's like, my parents aren't old enough yet. Like I say, it's a small percentage, at 21%. I'm not in that 21%, unfortunately. But I am moving to the age where I'm gonna have to start taking care of my mom and so forth. So I want to make sure that I have that ability. For those of you who are joining on Instagram right now, I actually am live on YouTube, so you can go on over and head on over. Thank you for coming through. I actually got this mic, so this lapel mic. So I'm thinking you guys are hearing me on the lapel mic, not this mic. So hopefully the audio is okay. Just want to let you guys know. Switch back over. Okay, so hey, what's going on, Lisa? Think you can make it. Thank you for making it. And I do apologize for the fuzziness here. I'm gonna see if I can try to move you guys closer. One thing. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we got a 1. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, Lisa, you made it. Thank you for coming through. All right, Lisa, you say you're a 1. For those of you who are in the caregiving side of the house, type in number 2. And for those of you who are caregivers for parents and grown kids, type in a number 3, because I want you to take a look into what it is that you're actually falling into, to see what's going on. Hey, what's going on, Charles? Thank you for coming through. Yes, there's a lot of information, but I want to make sure that everybody is good. So if you just come into this channel, I want you to go ahead on and like and subscribe. And if you guys are familiar, go on and like the show. I want to make sure that you guys are taking care of this. Okay. So with Boss, Boss man, you're awesome. Maybe I should have just invited you to come on up here with me. We're gonna have a lot of conversation about this. Definitely next time we're gonna have to make this happen. So Boss, you mentioned earlier that you're going to do your rollover for your 401ks this year. And one of the things that I have here, let me go back one, is to try to open up a separate savings account for your caregiving emergencies. Have you done that yet? I want you to think about that. Have you set up one just strictly for caregiving, not your emergency fund, just a caregiving fund, create another bank account, and go ahead on and start doing it that way. Let's see, Alicia, you said that number 1, but what is it? Which one of these 5 issues is you? Is it financial strain, time management? Which one is it? Okay, let's see. Yes, most definitely. I also help individuals. Yes, I know, Boss. I know you do. I know you help out a lot of people, man. I do appreciate what you're doing up there. And I believe you say you are in Delaware now. So yeah, that is amazing. Yes, that is your realm. Let's see. So let's see. Jen, you say you've been in caregiving role before. My parents. Oh no. Sorry to hear. Sorry. Okay, so Jen, I guess this will be helpful. mean, hopefully this information is helpful for your future and your current situation. And we're gonna. Oh, well, Jen. If there's anything that I know a lot of these financial things are focusing on the like people with kids and stuff like that. And that's one of the things I might have to do. One is, and speaking of which, when it comes to the sandwich generation, they actually call this the open sandwich generation as well. And what they mean by open sandwich is that you don't have the kids to deal with. You have the parents to deal with. Or vice versa. So you only got the kids and you don't have the parents. So that's why they call it the open sandwich generation. So they have like these 3 different terms, but I just wanted to share that with you. So if you want to walk around like, I'm an open sandwich kind of gal, you can say that. Okay, Jen? But we got you though. Yes. All right. So we got that out there. Let's see. Next one. Said I need a session. Hey, we are going to make that happen, Jen. All right. We're going to make that happen. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to leave you with some actions. Obviously, that previous page, if you guys, let me go back. Take a screenshot of this so y'all have it. I'm going to, move everything out the way. Take a screenshot if you haven't done so already. Give me a thumbs up or hand wave or something like that to let me know you got your screenshot before I move on to the next slide, because it's going to be another screenshot moment for you to take. And I want to make sure y'all have this information. And I believe there's a little delay, so I gotta wait a moment. Just give me something. Let me know. All right, for the sake of time, because I only have 2 minutes left and I want to be respectful of your time. All right, so this one here, go ahead and take a screenshot of this one. This is kind of like a bigger summary to kind of put everything together. Let me know when you took a screenshot. So this one here is actually to take action. So if you have, this is what I want you to do when you leave this today, okay? I want you to take a look at your financial situation, review your income and expenses, set up or even adjust your budget using different strategies such as a zero-based budgeting or the 50-30-10-10 rule. 50-30-10-10 rule, just for those of you as a summary, is 50% for your living expenses, 30% is for your wants, and I think 10% is for your savings to yourself. And then the other 10% is for investments. So you also want to consider creating an emergency fund to help unexpected caregiving costs. So you got emergency fund and caregiving fund. So make sure y'all take your screenshots of this, please. You got prioritize self-care. Remember, we do not want you to be burnt out. Also, we don't want you to be stressed out and so forth. Okay. All right, so since let me know when y'all done y'all screenshots. I'm gonna do the book giveaway in just a moment here. Type in #wallet when you done your screenshot. Type #wallet when you get you take a screenshot. /giveaway. All righty. Okay, #wallet. And so far I have nobody who types in the hashtag. Okay, so we want to create a estate plan. So the book that I'm giving away, let me share this right quick with y'all. So the book I'm giving away to the powerhouse, the person that's been helping me out from the very beginning of my journey and who has helped me out to become a speaker at least 4 times. I mean, it allowed me, actually, she was there for when I spoke at she wasn't there, but she assisted me in my first speaking gig at Podcast Movement Evolutions, and it is Bernadette Joy. So she just created this book. I believe it was released in December. So if you want a copy of this book, type in #wallet so that we can go down and get you into that drawing. I know, Lisa, you're not participating. It's okay. But for those of you who want a copy of this book, type in #wallet, and I'll be sending it through Amazon. So, because trust me, you can't get my copy. It's a signed copy. All right. So let's get back to it. Not that one. There we go. All right. So we want to prepare for the future. Remember to review your retirement savings plans and explore long-term care insurance for both parents and yourself. And actually research and understand resources that the government has available for you caregiving. Because I want to make sure that you all know this, that your local government does have something available for you to take advantage of. And obviously estate planning and so forth. All right, everybody. I just want to say thank you again for your time. So I keep looking out like say he's saying Lisa. Yes, I'm saying Lisa, not Alicia. Lisa, yes, I'm saying you, because I know you say you don't like to participate in my giveaways, so you're not gonna get this giveaway. Yes, I'm talking about you. All right. So, all right, Alicia, if you're still around, do you want to participate? Because right now we got 2 people who are participating in this giveaway. All right, so we only gotta do it one time. You don't have to do it multiple times. All right, so let's see. Share my screen. Let me share my screen again. And share that tab. Come on. Technical difficulties, you guys. And for those of you who are new, just coming to the channel, y'all know I give away a lot of free books. And for those of you who are joining Instagram, hop on over to YouTube. Go to youtube.com/aboutthatwallet so that you can get into this drawing that I'm about to start right now. So far, it's only 2 people. But hey, you know what it is. All right. And his book is called Crush Your Money Goals, 25 Smart Money Habits to Save. And you know what I just realized? I did not turn on this lapel mic on at all. So this whole time, I'm not even sure if anybody even heard me. This is funny. It's too funny. I've been talking as if it was actually connected, and it was not connected this whole time. This is too funny. Oh man, I'm up here thinking like it was all connected. Yeah. All right, so we got 3 people in for this giveaway. Oh man, hey, what's going on, Randy? Thank you for coming through. Do you want to be in this drawing? Go ahead on and type in #wallet so you get this book giveaway. Get this book giveaway. I like to give away books. Do #wallet so you can partake in it. Come on through. So if you got one more. All right. Going once. No, #wallet, not about that wallet. Go and get the book. I want to make sure y'all get in there. All right, we got 4 entries. All right, let me see if I got some music. Get some good drawing music. I feel like I removed all my stuff. All right, I'm gonna try this one. Actually, you know what? Because they changed everything on my stuff. All right, let Let me see. Move this out the way. All right. Here we go. Hey, we got a winner. What's going on, Jen? Congrats on winning. All right, that's all I got. Congrats, Jen. All right, Jen. You know how to do. Just go ahead on and send me an email. You have my info. Let me turn on this music right quick. All right. So, Jen, you know the deal. Go ahead on and shoot me an email. You already have my info anyway. Shoot me an email with the address of the Amazon locker. If you're going to come pick it up at a locker, if you don't want to give me your address, that's fine. I can ship it to an Amazon locker, or just give me your address and I'll send it there too. So again, thank you all for participating. We have a great time, great information. Remember to go down and like, subscribe to my newsletter if you haven't already, so that I got some new information coming out for January. I haven't sent that newsletter out yet. I plan on sending it out Tuesday of next week, because this is a long month, you guys. I mean, we get paid 3 times this week. This month. Isn't that great? All right. Y'all be safe. I'm out, everybody. Peace. Now I got to find my outro. All right. Take it easy.